Hello and welcome, you're watching Head to Head. Ukrainians like helping each other, and this was proven by rise of volunteer movements during and after the Euromaidan. Nowadays, in addition to helping army and IDPs, Ukrainians keep on helping to raise money for children in need, for hospitals or cultural events. Now, to talk more about charity initiatives in Ukraine, we welcome in our studio today Vladyslav Shelokov, Resource Mobilization and PR Director of Caritas Ukraine. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So first, you have a project which mostly focuses on children and schools, if I'm not wrong. Can you expand on this topic for our viewers?
One of the main charitable events this summer is our school bag. It's 19th charitable campaign which we are launching during the summer to help children from vulnerable categories of families to better prepare for a new school year. And luckily this year we are also supported by national partners, and we are really grateful that not only just corporate sector are supporting us, but also individuals, so individual people all around Ukraine supporting us to raise money for these people, children, to prepare them proper for a new school year.
So we're talking about children all over Ukraine, or around the front line too?
We're talking about the whole country, and including the front line also. As you may be aware, Caritas is present almost in all regions of Ukraine, but basically we are focusing on west and east part of Ukraine, but also we have a very strong regional Caritas in Odessa region, and all these organizations, they are running this charitable campaign, School Bag, to help these children to prepare to school year, and because our main philosophy in this sphere that children should prepare to school equally, without any differences between rich families and poor families, and because the education to all Ukrainian children should be open in the most large way.
So how does it work? Do you receive funds and then you when you say prepare, like, then how does it work? Do you train them? Do you give, like, proper equipment? How
we have many ways to support these families. One of the ways is everybody can donate us money on our website caritasua.org, and another point, you can just bring some stuff that is needed in school to our regional Caritas organizations. School bags, pens, pencils, and so on and so on. Last year we have supported about 2,000 children all around Ukraine, and we have collected about 300,000 hryvnias, which gave us an opportunity to support these children, and they were very thankful, especially those children who live in the really tough living conditions.
Now, we're talking about, like, vulnerable population here. How do you define a vulnerable population? How do you define the poverty line here?
Well, definitely it depends on the income, on the monthly income of the family. Also, we should understand, like, if some of family member has disabilities, that's also like a category. And by the way, we are analyzing the IDPs all around Ukraine, because all our staff members in the field, they are providing needs assessment before including some of the families into the categories to support. We are providing needs assessment. We understand what is their living conditions, what is the reality, and only after that we are giving the support. I must say, like, we have a large number of international partners who donate us money and resources to run many charitable programs in social sphere mostly, and humanitarian sphere. And also we are now developing our domestic fundraising, because we can see, like, lots of opportunities are open here, and Ukraine despite lots of people are living under poverty line, but at the same time we have people who has a really serious income, and they can share their money with the vulnerable ones, because the gap between poor and rich in Ukraine, unfortunately, is huge.
So my understanding is like creating the bridges between those part of the population. But what about the government? Because somehow it maybe government can rely too much on NGOs like Caritas or helping charity funds, and maybe not to help those vulnerable population. Do you have like help from the government? Do you have funds allocated there, or do you push at the very least for the government to help this vulnerable population?
No, but this time we are only counting on the money that is raised internationally to donate us to provide some assistance and support for people in Ukraine. We are not using the budget money, we are not using the grants from the state authorities or local authorities, and now we're seeking for a proper tool to maybe in the future to engage money from local budget, but unfortunately the current legislation is not allowing us to do so. And at the same time, as a charitable organization, definitely we're counting on charity donations and working closely with the corporate sector, with the corporate social responsibility companies, and also with the individual donors and to fundraise to support us in our projects. It's on our side, it can really benefit towards vulnerable people.
Now, so that's for this year. What's next? What's the next step for your project, for the project? Maybe for this one or others?
Yeah, well, definitely we have in general one of the core activities of Caritas Ukraine is to support young and people and children, and especially we have a very large-scale projects to support young people, because if we're talking about the children, definitely they need support to get good education, to find themselves in their lives. But at the same time, for youth is also very important now to find a job, to be well prepared for adult life, and also to believe in their own opportunities and their own possibilities, because in their lives all depends on them. So that is why we, from year to year, we are providing the charity project Caritas Cup. It's a football tournament for really crisis youth representatives all around Ukraine. More than 110 young people are participating in this every year event, and I must say, like, not only boys, because football or football is definitely is associated with the men, but at the same time, in each team we have minimum 2 girls. So
to promote the idea of equality of gender.
Absolutely, and the wish to win in girls' mind is
way higher,
way higher than in boys. And to be honest, this and by the way, this project is only run by our staff members all around Ukraine. So it's like our voluntary project, which we from year to year we are implementing by our own forces, together with the support definitely of Ukrainian Football Federation and other organizations, state organizations, who give us support in providing us with the stadium to play on, and with other things that are going to help us.
And now to conclude this interview, you said your Caritas is focusing on the youth. Why not the elders? Why focusing on the youth? So
not only on the youth. It's one. We have five core activities of our organization. One of them is home care for elderly and disabled people. Another one is people with disabilities. The third one is youth and children. The fifth one is migration issues, and fifth one is emergency-related topics. And by the way, on east part of Ukraine, we are running several projects that are focusing on supporting, giving food and hygiene for people, and also another are focused on giving an employment for people, to employ people and to give them the source to live on. So that is why we are like a multifunctional charitable organization, but at the same time we have a traditions like from the Caritas family, which was founded more than 120 years ago.
Okay, so basically to give these young people a new start. Well, thank you for this overview of your project. It was quite interesting. That was Vladyslav Shelokov, Resource Mobilization and PR Director of Caritas Ukraine. Thank you for watching the program. Stay tuned for the rest.